Hello, everybody. My name is Travis, and this is the Daily Travesty. And yeah, you guessed it. A new set came out today on Arena, and we are going to be doing some sealed Innistrad Midnight Hunt sealed. Let's see if they have the traditional sealed. I tend to prefer playing with sideboards. I think that's a little bit more true to the experience you're going to get at a local game store. I like sideboarding, and especially in sealed, sideboarding can be super important. Some of you who might have watched the sealed videos on this channel before know that I tend to build 2 or 3 different versions of the decks that I have access to. And sometimes you might want to side in an entire deck. So it's nice to have sideboarding options for that. Just as a heads up, sealed on Arena, not the best deal in the world. You can only buy in with gems. It's 2,000 gems. It's really expensive. And the rewards aren't that good either. You kind of have to get, like in this case, we have to go 4 wins before we get 2 losses to even get our gems back. It's totally not worth it. But I really like sealed. I think it's fun, and I want to show you guys some sealed, especially if you're getting ready for a pre-release this weekend. We can hang out here, and you'll get to hear about some of the decisions I'm making. So let's go ahead and dive in to sealed. I haven't played any of the new set yet. I've been excited all day, but I was working and I had some stuff going on in the evening. So this is my first crack at it. And here we go. Open up our packs. See what we got. I really love the setting for Innistrad. It kind of reminds me of like Bloodborne to an extent, and I recently played Bloodborne and loved it. So it's really exciting to look at the rares first. So let's take a look. Slogark, the Overslime, 3 mana, 3/3 trample. I think this card is good. Basically, it's pretty much a 3/3 trample. And then if you happen to have some like things that cause you to mill cards from your library, it might get bigger. There's a lot of text on this card, but I think in limited, so sealed or draft, it's basically going to be a 3/3 trample for 3, which is sweet. I mean, we're always going to play this card if we're green and blue. We kind of got hosed a little bit. We got some dual lands, which might help. In sealed, you do tend to splash a little bit more than draft just because your card pool is limited and you want to play the best cards you have. So maybe these are good, but it's a little bit unexciting to get lands in our sealed pool. Adeline Resplendent Cathar, on the other hand, is quite good. So comes down as a 3 mana 1/4 at least. And then whenever you attack, you get a 1/1 that's tapped and attacking. 1/1's not that amazing. Usually your opponent's going to block it and kill it. But the thing is, you get the 1/1 every time you attack. It doesn't have to be this creature that attacks. It could be a different creature attacking. So it's not unreasonable to expect, like, you already have a creature in play. You play this on turn 3, and you attack with a different creature and get a 1/1. And if your opponent doesn't have blockers, like, this thing can get pretty big soon, pretty quick. So that's pretty sweet. Ooh, Curse of Leeches. This card does look really good. 3 mana, basically every turn your opponent loses a life, you gain a life. That's pretty sweet. Just they have to play quickly or, outvalue you, because eventually you're just going to win. And then if you flip this thing, it's a 4/4 lifelink. That's really sweet. We're going to be talking about the day-bound, night-bound, day-night mechanics as we're going through this. I'm not going to talk about it here, but one thing to look out for is some of these creatures and cards that have Nightbound. If the game state is in the nighttime period, they just come in on that side. So this could be a 3 mana 4/4 lifelink some amount of the time, and that's pretty sweet. Gisa, Glorious Resurrector. So 4 mana 4/4, already a good card. And every time an opponent's creature dies, it gets exiled. And then we get those back. So if the opponent doesn't kill this card, it makes it really tough for them to trade off their creatures because we just get extra value off of them. The creatures that we steal do get the Decayed condition, so you can only attack with them once and then you have to sacrifice them after that. But hey, that's still a couple creatures maybe throughout the whole course of the game that you get to attack your opponent with. So that's pretty sweet. So not bad. We got 2 nice black rares. This white rare is good. It's nothing crazy, but it is good. And then this blue-green rare is fine. It's a 3-mana 3/3. We're not going to try and splash this, but if we have a blue-green deck, we'll definitely play it. So I think I'm most excited to play black. And I think black pairs really well with white or blue. Or I mean, in this set, I think you can play pretty much any combination of colors. So in Sealed, first thing we do is we take a look at the rares. We already did that. That's the most exciting. The next thing I do is more like housekeeping stuff. I look to see what cards I have that let me splash or play more than 2 colors. Because, again, in Sealed, you want to play your best cards, not usually in just 2 colors. So how can we get different colors of mana in our deck? We have 1 Evolving Wilds. That's really nice. So that lets us search up any land card in our deck. That's really nice. We already saw these dual lands, so we are better able to splash these colors. Other things we look at are the green cards that have the ability to add mana. So like this Dawnheart Rejuvenator is pretty good. 4 mana, 2/4 with gain 3 life, but it can add mana of any color. So that's definitely something we could think about playing. We have 2 of these Path to the Festivals, which can pull land cards out of your library. Again, different colored lands if we're splashing. That's kind of nice. The only issue I'm seeing right now, and like we'll build the decks first, but what the issue I'm seeing right now is that although we have like good green fixing, we don't have good green cards. Our green pool is very, very light. So I don't know if we're going to play green, but anyway, it's worth noting that there is like a couple ways to splash here, especially Evolving Wilds. Evolving Wilds is a great card to put in your deck anyway. It just makes your early mana more consistent because it could be any one of your 2 colors you're playing. And if you splash, it's obviously great. So, all right. So that's what we do. We look at ways to fix. If we're in green, we have fixing, but I don't think we're in green. We just don't have that many cards, but we'll get back to that. So we looked at rares. We looked at fixing. And now what we're going to do is start to go through color by color and pick out the cards we're really, really excited to play. Sealed tends to go a little bit slower than, say, Draft, and way slower than Constructed Standard because the decks are super inconsistent. I mean, you don't have your pick of cards, you only get what they give you. So the decks tend to be slower, but people tend to play their most powerful cards too, so you have to be careful of that. This Gavany Trapper is something we would play, but again, I'm just gonna pull out the cards that I would be super, super excited about. And I don't really see anything yet that's amazing. I'll try and talk about the cards that look really good. Again, we don't have anything that's insanely good. Our blue looks pretty deep, like we have a lot of blue cards. Okay, Eaten Alive. So cards that I am looking for are things like removal spells, cards that kill creatures. And this is a 1-mana sorcery that exiles a creature or planeswalker if you sack a creature, or you can just pay 5 to cast this. So this card is very good. That's a card I am definitely excited to play. What else am I excited to play? Again, some of these cards are decent. I would love to put them in my deck, but I'm only going to pull out the cards that are really good. I think Curse of Leeches is really good. Defenestrate, 3 mana, destroy a creature without flying. Seems awesome. That's a card I'm excited to play. This Gisa I'm excited to play. Moving into red. Again, looking for removal spells. I think Play with Fire is fine. It's like shock, deals 2 damage to anything. So that's a card we would definitely want to play. Man, we got kind of screwed on our pool. That's going to happen. That's going to happen in Sealed. Sometimes you just get really weird pools. Like, I'm saying that because we have these like 3 Pax Betrayals, which isn't a great card. We have 3 of them. This card is not very good unless you have ways to like then sacrifice the creature you stole from an opponent. So it's just 3 cards that we can't use in red. I think this Valdaran Ambusher could be good. We'll definitely play it. Again, it's not like super exciting. I think Lunar Frenzy is really good. basically this lets you win combats against your opponent. And if you have a whole bunch of mana to tap, you can just attack them, tap out, and deal a ton of trampling damage to them. So that is a card I am excited to play. In green, here's a fight spell. Your creature fights their creature. If you happen to have 3 creatures in play that have different power levels, your creature gets a +1/+1 counter. So that's pretty sweet. Again, this Dawnheart Rejuvenator looks good. So I am actually excited to play that card as a splash card, or ability to splash with it. Contortionist Troop enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. And then if you have 3 or more creatures in play with different powers, you can put counters on your creatures at the end step. That's a really good card. This is a card I would look forward to splashing. Like, say if we're playing a black-red deck, we can maybe use our Evolving Wilds and this Rockvale thingy to splash this. So that's really nice that it only costs 1 green mana. Okay, well, so we've kind of gone through our deck. The cards we're really excited to play are red and black. We've also got a couple cards here that are pretty decent. I think these Hungry for More cards are going to be fine as well. So it looks like, oh, and we're going to play the Silverbolt. It looks like we're probably going to be some combination of red, black, and maybe blue, because we have a lot of like good blue cards, just nothing super exciting. So I would say that the chances of us playing green are basically none. There is a world where we splash for dominance, just as another way to kill our opponent's creatures. And we're definitely wanting to splash Contortionist Troop. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, like, yeah, we didn't get anything super exciting in white. This Adeline is fine. But that's kind of it. I guess this card is okay as well, but yeah, it looks like our best cards are in black, followed by red, followed by green. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull down all of the cards I would consider playing in any of the decks, but I'm going to focus mostly on red, black, and blue. And I want to see those combinations of decks come together. So blue, black, blue, red, and red, black. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to keep these ones off to the side as things I might play. We're definitely playing Silverbolt. I think this card is decent. It's basically a 4 mana sorcery speed 3 damage removal spell. And if you target a werewolf, you obviously just kill it right out. And it's nice because it's colorless, so we can play this in any deck. So I'm definitely excited about playing that. Let's go through and, yeah, pull out anything that looks decent. I don't think these 1-drops are worth it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure white isn't worth it for us. So let's pull out any serviceable blue cards. Fading Hope is probably fine as a bounce spell. This Bait Hook Angler is good as a 2-drop. 2 mana 2/1, so you kill something or trade off with one of their creatures. You kill theirs, they kill yours. And then later you can bring it back as a 1/2 flyer. That's kind of nice. I think this Covetous Castaway is quite good. 2 mana 1/3, and then when it dies, you get a 5 mana 3/4 flyer. That can put some really good cards from your graveyard back into your library. That seems really good to me. I think this Falcon Abomination is fine. It's a 3 mana 2/2 flyer, and you get a Decayed Zombie. Again, these Decayed creature tokens aren't excellent. Like, they can't block, and when you attack with them, you have to sacrifice them right away. But they might still have some utility if there's ways to sacrifice your creatures and stuff. So this card on its own is fine. 3 mana 2/2 flyer, and then you do get the extra zombies, so that's cool. I think this Firmament Sage is good as well. 4 mana 2/3. And sometimes you get to draw extra cards when day and night switch. So that seems good. I think these Revenge of the Drowned are good. you put a creature into their library, which means you either get rid of it forever because they put it at the bottom, or they put it on top and they kind of skip a draw step. So that's pretty sweet. I like that card. I'm not super happy about the Storm Rider Spirits, but it's just good to note that that is a thing we have. We might end up playing those. We might play these Secrets of the Key just to investigate, which gets you clues, which lets you draw cards. So if our deck's a bit slower, this is something we might play. So our blue cards look pretty good. Going into black, Blade Brand is serviceable. I don't think Ghoulish Procession is going to be that good. Whenever a creature dies, you get a 2/2 with Decayed. I mean, it's kind of annoying, but if they have a big enough creature, they can kind of just ignore the Decayed tokens, so maybe it's not that good. I think these Novice Occultists are going to be fine, like 2 mana 1/2, and you get to draw some cards later on. So we definitely want ways to like maybe make use of sacrificing these, like using this Eaten Alive card. If you can sacrifice one of your 2/2 zombies that can't block, or you sacrifice like one of these Occultists, you get to draw an extra card and exile something. So those are exciting. I don't know if Siege Zombie is that exciting, but it's a 2 mana 2/2 that sometimes you can, cause your opponent to lose life. So that's a card we would play. Vampire Interloper is good. 2 mana 2/1 flying. Even though it can't block, you basically play this in an attack with it every turn. This card's nothing special, but you could definitely put it in your deck. And if we end up playing black, we might consider that. This Cut Purse card could be good, mostly because of the Disturb ability. So it's a 3 mana 2/1 that after it dies, you get a 5 mana 2/2 flying Death Touch. That seems pretty good. Hobbling Zombie, 3 mana 2/2 Death Touch seems fine. And then sometimes you get a zombie out of it. That seems good. And if we can make use of zombie tokens somehow, this Diagraph Horde is actually pretty good. 5 mana 3/4, and then you get 2 Decayed zombies. So that card seems pretty good. Our black cards seem pretty good. These other ones are fine. No Way Out, they discard 2, you get a zombie. That's always fine. Especially in Sealed, because people tend to splash, and they tend to play more expensive spells. So they're likely to hold on to good quality cards longer. So sometimes you can just get them with this. If we play some kind of like slower deck, I would definitely consider this. I don't know if I would play this if my deck was meant to be really fast, but definitely something we consider. I'll just leave it out here for now. I don't know if this card's good. We might try it out. Depends how many creatures we have. We need a lot of creatures to be dying for this to be good. I guess it also counts when your opponent's creatures die. Yeah, that's probably annoying enough that it's probably going to be worth it. So actually, all of our black cards are really good. Let's go through and look at our red. I didn't see too much. Ooh, I kind of missed this one the first time. Immolation is a 1 mana enchantment that gives something +2/-2. So it's kind of like dealing 2 damage to something that's a creature. And we have 2 of those. So that's actually really nice. These cheap removal spells would push us maybe into more of a aggressive deck. Abandon the Post, this is a card you could play in an aggressive deck, but it's not super exciting. It's a 2 mana 2/2 that sometimes makes things unable to block. That's kind of nice, actually. This card kills creatures with 1 toughness, and then you draw a card. That could be pretty good. It also deals damage to your opponent. There are some cards in this set that care about like having dealt damage to the opponent already that turn, so maybe that matters. I don't know if I would put this in just any deck, but because we're playing traditional Sealed, we do get the sideboard, and if our opponent has a lot of 1 toughness creatures, like 1/1s and 2/1s, we might bring this card in. I think it's good enough to include in our list down here. I don't think these Pax Betrayals are good enough unless we have lots of ways to sacrifice things. Like Eaten Alive is pretty good. You can play Pax Betrayal for 3 mana, attack with your opponent's creature, and then before the end of your turn, play Eaten Alive and sacrifice your opponent's creature instead of one of your own. That's kind of good. We don't have any other ways to sacrifice anything. So I feel like these cards aren't going to be that good. This card is fine. 3 mana 2/2, and it could deal between 1 and 3 damage to a creature when it comes into play. Oh, sorry, it's the number of vampires. If an opponent lost life and you have vampires in play. Okay. So what we might want to check is how many vampires we would have. We don't have any red vampires. We have 1, 2. I only have 2 black vampires right now, so I don't know if this card's going to be that excellent. It's kind of like Neonate's Rush, where it can deal 1 damage to something sometimes. So if our opponent has a lot of 1 toughness creatures, we could play this. This is a 4 mana 2/5 that becomes a 6/5. That's probably good enough. It's not as good in an aggressive deck because a 2/5 on turn 4 isn't really what you want, but our deck might end up being a little bit slow. 5 mana 5/4 trample that could be a 6/5. That's probably good enough as well. Okay, so our red is pretty deep, and we have some good cheap removal spells in red, so that's kind of exciting. Again, our green cards aren't anything special. Not really interested in those besides the 2 I pulled out already. This blue-white land doesn't really help us. Like, I don't know what white card we would splash for, so not interested in this. Yeah, I wouldn't splash for this card. This card is great in blue-white, but not as a splash card. Hungry for More, that's kind of nice. We have 2 of these, so that might pull us into black-red. This card's not, like, insanely good, but it's pretty solid. You get a 3/1 trample lifelink haste that dies right away, and then you can flash it back. So you kind of just, like, boom, boom. You get 2 hits in against your opponent. So I do like those. I feel like if we play any colors, it's going to be black, and then so either black-red or black-blue. So what I'll do is I'll put these in the red column, because if we play red, we'll also be playing black, and that's kind of nice. Again, we mentioned the Rock Veil, so that's a way we could splash these other cards along with the Evolving Wilds. I don't know if Duel for Dominance is something we'll splash. It might be something that we think about bringing in if our opponent has a lot of weak creatures. If we play black-red, our creature's going to be really weak. Like, they're like 2/1s, 1/2s, 2/2s. Like, we don't have a lot of strong creatures. So that makes a fight card worse because you just end up killing theirs and they kill yours. And actually, red-blue isn't even that great of a place for this either, so I'll probably just take that out. I think playing Contortionist Troop is worth it. And we can do that off of Evolving Wilds, Rockfall Vale, and 1 forest, 1 basic forest, which gives us 3 ways to get green mana. That's enough for 1 card like this. And actually, now that I'm looking at this, our red is just better than our blue. Like, it's already better. Normally, I would advise building multiple decks, like blue-red, blue-black, red-black, but it's pretty clear here that our red cards are just better, and black-red is kind of an aggressive color pair, so if we can stick to those 2 colors, I think that's going to be pretty good. And these cards are fine, but they aren't, like, amazing. They aren't that exciting, so I think I actually might just stick with black-red and go in on that. So without the lands, this is 30 cards. That's great. So we know we have cards to cut already. So let's go through and take out anything that seems awful. So we can sort by creatures. Ooh, I need it to sort by mana cost again. Can't remember if there's a way to do that. Okay, well I'll just add some lands and then I'll come back. I'll say that I'm done. And then I'll go back into the deck and sort it by mana cost. So we do want to play 17 lands, 14, 15, 16, 17. Which means we have 7 cards to get rid of. And let's just start by cutting out all of the cards we don't want. That's usually what I do when I build decks. I can actually take the lands out too, just so they're out of the way. And then we can see our mana curve, and basically we're going to look for 23 cards that work well together, and then we'll add 17 lands to it and call it a day. What are some of the things that I'm least excited to play? Well, No Way Out. We didn't know if this Neonate's Rush was going to be any good. I don't know if Ghoulish Procession is that great. If you had ways to make the zombies bigger, I think it'd be really good. So even something like Blade Brand, which gives one of your zombies Death Touch, is kind of nice with this. This could also be really annoying for your opponent if you just have a bunch of 2/2s that can attack. Yeah, and I mean with Lunar Frenzy and stuff, maybe it's good enough. Eaten Alive makes zombies better. So yeah, I think all of these cards are solid. I'm gonna move this to the 4 mana column because it's basically a 4 mana sorcery. Lunar Frenzy we aren't playing until later, so I'll move that like up a little bit. I like to sort my cards based on when I'm most likely to play them, not when like what their actual costs are. Like this Contortionist Troop, I probably want to play this on turn 4 at the earliest. And it's a green card, so it's likely not going to come down right away because we won't have green mana that often. I think these Occultists are fine. It'd be nice if we had a way to make them attack better. This Siege Zombie is probably fine. Wait, are we missing some cards? Oh no, here they are. Curse of Leeches. Why is this up here? It's weird. Voldaren Ambusher. Is this card good enough? We have 1, 2, 3, up to 4 vampires. That might be a card I consider cutting. And again, if the opponent has a lot of 1 toughness creatures, I might bring it back in. If we had a ton of vampires, it would be different. I guess these kind of count as vampires, but we would need 5 mana to like play this and then play this in our second main phase. So the other thing about this is you can cut, like I'm cutting a bunch of cards, everything I don't think is like super amazing. And then I can add that stuff back in. I'm going to leave Blade Brand in. This is normally the kind of card that I would take out at first and add back later. But because we have these 3 Occultists that we want them to die, but if they take a creature out on the way out, that'd be kind of nice. I'm going to leave the Blade Brand in. I think this card's probably fine. This card is kind of meh as well, but we might add it in later. I don't think this Tavern Ruffian is that great to start with. If we had a lot of werewolf stuff or ways to start day-night cycles, because you need a card to kick that off. If we had a way to do that, I might consider playing this because some amount of the time it's going to be a 4 mana 6/5 right out of the gate. But because we don't really do that well, I think this is a card I would rather take out. And then maybe we could add it in as a sideboard card if we need the 5 toughness, or if our opponent does a lot of day-night stuff, we might add it back in. This card is interesting. I think we actually are going to be making a lot of zombie tokens. And if we have things like Eaten Alive, Blade Brand, Lunar Frenzy, like these are ways to make use of those tokens. So maybe Diagraph Horde is good. Mounted Dread Knight is fine. Nothing incredibly crazy. So I'll take that one out as well. And I'm down to 24. That's pretty good. We have 11 creatures, which is a little bit on the lower side. Remembering that these cards are... No, they're not really creatures. They don't block or anything. We want to play this Lunar Frenzy with a bunch of creatures, and we kind of have to get rid of one more card already, as it is. Interesting. 3, 4, 5, 6 2-drops plus these 7, 8. That kind of puts us in aggressive deck range. I think you probably want like, yeah, at least 8 2-mana creatures if you want to be more aggressive in Sealed. Usually it's better to just try and go for the long game and be more powerful in Sealed, but we have enough small removal spells and stuff. This might actually be okay. I can see this Ghoulish Procession. Well, I mean, it's kind of nice. Like, with all of our cheap removal spells, we might actually be able to clear the way quite a bit. Is there anything really crazy in black, red that we would prefer to have? 4 mana 3/4. I mean, this outlaw is fine. If we're playing Voldaren Ambusher, we would want to add in Arrogant Outlaw and Mounted Dread Knight. But I'm not actually seeing anything here that's insanely good. I think our deck is actually kind of fine as it is. I do want to play the Contortionist group, and having a splash color in your deck makes your deck inherently slower. So my first thought is to take out probably not a creature. I want to keep the creatures as high as possible, which means we have to get rid of one of these other spells. I mean, if our opponent has a bunch of really high toughness creatures, these might come out. I really like Blade Brand with the Occultists and all the zombies we make. How is our deck winning? I think our deck is winning by playing a whole bunch of tiny creatures and attacking with them. And Ghoulish Procession doesn't really help us do that. This is kind of like it takes a longer time for this card to be effective. And even then you're only getting 2/2s that die right away after you attack with them. So I think I might actually take this Ghoulish Procession out. I don't think we need it. I do want to play 17 lands, especially if we're splashing. So again, this is kind of creature light. It's more like 13 creatures if we include the Hungry for Mores. So I might try this and see if we can be a little bit speedy against some of the slower opponents. It's possible that Diagraph Horde isn't that great. I mean, it is one of our few 5-mana cards. There's a world where we cut this card and we add something a little bit more assertive into our deck. Like maybe this Mounted Dread Knight. Like, if our plan is to kill our opponent quickly and we beat them down with a bunch of small things and then they set up a good defense, having something like Mounted Dread Knight could be enough to, you know, trample through for the win. Is that better than Diagraph Horde? Probably. Remember, these tokens don't block. It makes them way worse. So actually, well, I mean, this is kind of good too, because it puts 3 creatures into play and they can't block everything. Huh, that's kind of an interesting distinction. I don't know which of these 5-drops is better. Because these tokens don't block, it's probably better just to play the Dread Knight. Like, it has more toughness for... Well, it has the same amount of toughness for blocking, actually. Huh. That's kind of interesting. Well, I think I'm gonna start with this and see how it does. Again, we're playing traditional here, so we can sideboard. We can change our deck as much as we want. Oh, sorry, I was on creature mode the whole time. I don't think we're supposed to play these Raise the Effigies. If our opponent has some really good artifacts, we would definitely put them in. +2/+2 to attacking creature is really good. Even on like these occultists, it makes them good. Neonate's Rush if our opponent has low toughness creatures. Yeah. I mean, it could be good. Throw our Evolving Wilds in. Let's get some lands in here. I only need 1 forest because that's 1, 2, 3 ways to make green mana. We have a lot of black cards. 6, 7, 8 red sources, 7, 8, 9 black sources seems good with the Evolving Wilds because we have a lot of black cards. And I think that's the deck we're going to run with. So what I suggest after you build your decks is you kind of split them up like this and then just take a screenshot of it so that during the games you can reference your deck and see what's in your deck, and that can help you make decisions if you're waiting for like a specific card or something. So let's go ahead and lock that in, and let's play some Sealed Innistrad Midnight Hunt and see how we do. Hope everyone out there is having a nice day. Hopefully some of you are getting an opportunity to play at a local game store and do some pre-release events this weekend. Not sure if I'm going to end up going in or if I'll just stream a bunch of drafts. I like drafting quite a bit. I assume we just play first. And the no-lander is definitely something we're going to mulligan. Thank you, Arena. No decision there. And yeah, now we got both of our colors. That's great. So we'll keep this. And because we don't have green mana, I'll just get rid of this Contortionist. There's no knowing if we would actually draw our green mana this game. So we don't have any options. So black comes down first because we have more black cards in our deck. And then on turn 2, we're hoping to play this 2-mana 2/2. Ooh, I wonder if this is better. Especially with the Blade Brand combo. Actually, and with Eaten Alive. Having Eaten Alive makes me want to play expendable creatures sooner. And the Occultist, when it dies, I get to draw a card. So that's kind of a nice setup there. We might even get to the point where we play Gisa and we can use Blade Brand and Eaten Alive. Oh, I guess this exiles their card. Never mind. Eaten Alive doesn't work with Gisa, but Blade Brand certainly does. Here comes a 1/2. Oh, and they actually discarded a spirit. I wonder how often it's worth it to discard spirits this, because like you just got rid of a creature to make this one slightly bigger. I don't know. Seems weird to me. Oh man, imagine we had this plus Eaten Alive. That'd be kind of nice. I wonder what we're supposed to do here. We're definitely not aggressive. I think it's probably better just to build out our board. So I'm going to play this Harrier and pass. The idea being that our opponent probably doesn't want to attack us because they trade a 2/3 for either a 2/2 or a 1/2 because we can double block. So they're less likely to attack us. Doesn't mean that they wouldn't, but... One thing I encourage you to do is write notes while you're playing Sealed about what cards are in your opponent's deck. And also the color. If you're anything like me, you're so excited to play the games that at the end of the match, when you go to sideboarding, I sometimes have trouble remembering what colors the opponent's deck was. I just get excited, so I wrote down blue, black. That can help me pick what to do. Well, we don't really have good attacks here. We could play Hungry for More and just smash in with it. I don't want to use Eaten Alive yet on either of these creatures. I don't want to do nothing. So I think I'll probably just play this Hungry for More card and attack. It does kill either creature that they have. So, I mean, if they want to block with this Bait Hook Angler, that's kind of fine. They get extra value off of having Disturb, but either way, we're going to gain 3 life. We're either going to kill their 2/3 or we're going to hit them for 3 damage. Like, that's pretty nice. 6-point life swing there. Okay, well, that's a card definitely worth writing down. When my opponent plays really good cards or removal spells, I want to write those down. So they're smashing in. We could block this. It gives them the Disturb, but... Oh, what did they do here? Oh... So now I don't want to block because I want to use Eaten Alive or Blade Brand on this creature. So I'll just take it. Man, we are kind of hurting on mana here. This is not an instant. I probably want to block this card and use Blade Brand. That's probably my best bet. Otherwise, I could play Eaten Alive and play Silverbolt. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. If we had drawn a land there, and we had this removal spell. Oh wow. Okay. This opponent gets a 1/1 that can only block flyers. And then if they play a Disturb or Flashback spell from their graveyard, they get another 1/1. That could be a problem. Well, we got our 3rd mana. Even though it comes into play tab. We get to draw a bunch of cards. And the opponent gets to put 1 card into their hand. Okay. Well, Necrosynthesis not awful there. Here's a 2/1. And these 1/1s and a 2/1. So maybe our 1 damage cards are worth it. So I'm going to write down that they have a lot of 1 toughness creatures and maybe switch into some cards that can kill those. Okay. Well, now we can play a 3 mana spell. I don't know if there's actually any that I'm interested in. This only kills creatures without flying, and then they can just bring this back, which gives them another 1/1. So I don't really want to do that. I could play this and attack with it. And then next turn use Silverbolt on this Interloper, or play Gisa. We probably play Gisa next turn. So I think this turn, I'm just going to play Hungry for More. Gain a little bit of life, and then hopefully we don't die too quickly. The idea would be to play Gisa and then start using our removal spells. Oh, that maybe that was a kind of silly. I kind of forgot about Eaten Alive. It might have been better to save the thing we just did, Hungry for More. until we could play this and Eaten Alive at the same time for 4 mana. But here we are. We're learning the new set. Our opponent's playing counterspells. Is that what's happening here? Nope. Okay, no counterspell. Okay, Defenestrate, 3 mana, non-flyer. So opponent with some nice removal spells in their deck for sure. I don't know if this card's going to be worth it for them, but I mean, currently we're losing, so. We probably want to use Silverbolt on the Interloper. I'll just do it right now. Well, we definitely got wrecked there for not waiting. 3/3 flyer. So write that one down with flash. What do we have to do here? We have to kill 2 things. We have to kill Stormrider Spirit, and the only way to do that is to play Eaten Alive, which costs 5 mana. And we have to block something. So I think we just lose, right? We can't play 2 things that help us. Unless we play Siege Zombie, Eaten Alive is 3 mana, and then Defenestrate here. That we can actually do. They attack us for... Oh no, that doesn't save us. Kills this, kills this. We go down to 1. They get another thing. Yeah, I mean, there is a way to stay alive here, but we're pretty far behind. I think we do try it, though. I think it's usually worth trying to win. There is some thought to just conceding so that our opponent doesn't get to see what else is in our deck. But, I mean, I don't like conceding if there is like realistically a way for us to win. Although here there really isn't, because they're gonna have this 1/1. They're gonna replay this as a 1/2 flyer, and then they're gonna get another 1/1 off of Roost. So maybe it was silly to show them our hand there, but again, I don't like conceding if there is even the slightest chance we could come back. We do have another card that gains us life. Although I think we are quite dead here. Another one of these 1/2s, eh? Yeah, that's not going to do it. So we'll just play our land and pass the turn. And maybe our opponent will play another card and show us more of what they have. They probably should just attack. Yeah, that's fine. So opponent with a lot of 1 toughness creatures, which is nice. I mean, we have cheap removal that lines up well against that. That also makes me want to put in our Ambusher. That makes me think that this Neonate's Rush is going to be decent. And if we're putting in Ambusher, we want to put in as many vampires as we can. So I am going to switch this Knight out for this Diregraph Horde. That's a nice kind of 1-for-1 trade I can do here. Again, if we're putting in vampires, we want to put in as many as we can. So I kind of want this Arrogant Outlaw in there as well. And what are we going to take out? We didn't have a ton of big creatures. I think all of these are fine. This is going to be pretty good against them. I think all of these are pretty good. Is a 2/1 flyer any good against them? Kind of not really. But we do get to play first, so that might be good. I think we'll put in the ambusher, take out the hobbling zombie. Death touch didn't seem that important in this one. And maybe we don't need this arrogant outlaw. It dies to a lot of their 2-mana cards. And maybe we just have too many lands in our deck. Deck's pretty cheap, and we're on the play. We don't want to take too much out, so I'll take this siege zombie out and go with this. See how we can do. Hopefully, we don't draw no lands again, like we did last game. Play first. 1 land. Thank you, Arena. They heard our wish. We can't keep this. We have to mulligan again. All right. Well, this is okay, but we don't have black mana. That's really sad. All these cards require black mana, but we're not going to mulligan this. Having a 3rd mana here doesn't actually do anything for us. So I'm actually going to get rid of the forest. Is that insane? If we don't draw black lands, we lose anyway. So I think it's okay to get rid of the forest. If we draw black mana, that makes our hand slightly better. Maybe we're supposed to get rid of one of these black cards. Keep the land. Get rid of this card. I'm not sure what to get rid of there. I mean, usually you want more lands, and like this costs 5 mana. So if we draw land, at least we can play our like removal spell. But we really want to swamp here. I do like these novice occultists, but I think you have to build your deck around them a little bit better than we have. So maybe that's something we take out. We don't have good ways to make use of the sacrifice. Hey, huzzah! That's awesome. Go us. Yeah. We got our black land. That's nice. Now we just need to draw some action. If they don't play a creature here, we can hit them for 3 next turn. I wonder if I was supposed to play this last turn, hit them for 3, and then again, if they don't play a creature, we can tap and hit them for 3. Or just do that anyway. Like, what is this card really doing for us right now? Kind of nothing. So I was probably supposed to play Hungry for more last turn. In the future, I would probably do that. If I could play this on turn 2 and just hit them for 3, that's kind of nice. Again, we don't have a ton of the sacrificing stuff, if there is any. So probably would have been better just to play that last turn. And now we're kind of getting stuck where we could have gone 2, 3, and then on turn 4 played. Well, I guess we don't have the swamps for that. What's better? A 2/1 flyer that always hits for 2 or this card? I think I'll just play this one. This one is just going to consistently deal 2 damage to them. This is going to deal 2 damage to them. This is going to deal some amount of damage to them. So maybe we just start the flying, attacking going. Okay, so they have a 2/2 to block. It's kind of okay. It's too bad we don't have a creature that can block this yet, but here we are. That can't block, so I think we just run this out. Attack with our Vampire. See what they want to do. I'm probably not using Burn the Accursed on any of their current creatures. I think it's better to save this. Well, actually, there is some thought to using this on Covetous Castaway. because this exiles the creature that it kills. So it gets rid of the castaway, but it also gets rid of this ghostly castigator. So that's worth thinking about. We didn't see insanely big creatures from the opponent, just the 3/3 flyer that has flash, so see what they do here. Oh, they get rid of a 2-drop. They could have played this card. Oh, they're rocking the Necro Synthesis. So this is going to be a 3/3. Yeah, Necro Synthesis is not awful. Ooh, turn kind of too late. Well, this is good because we can use Hungry for More plus Eaten Alive this turn. That's actually kind of nice. So let's go ahead and do that. What does this do? I don't know if they necessarily block here. They might choose to block with this. Huh. I guess I could attack with this and maybe they'll double block it. But then this thing's going to get bigger too. Fear the Blade Brand. Okay. Yeah, I mean, maybe that was silly, but it was kind of enough of a bait that they wouldn't block the 3/1. Because I do want to kill this Castaway if I can. Oh, hey, that's not awful, actually. Maybe I should have dealt the 1 damage here instead. So we'll use Eaten Alive. We'll sack a creature. Kill their 4/4. They get to look at 5. Oh, it got exiled. Oh, nice. Do I want to use Immolation on the 1/2? Probably not. I'll just pass there. So look at how much life we gained from this. We gained 6 life from this. That really helps in a race. Like, us being at 15 would be way different than us being at 21 right now. If nothing else happens, I'm planning on passing, and then I'm going to use this here, just so they don't get the extra value. I also don't want them to put 3 cards back into their library. Blood Tithe Collector. Well, that's kind of sad. Now I'm glad we didn't play this, because we would have had to discard this last turn, so. That's really sad. This... And now our plan is just to race them. Try and kill them before they kill us. No reason to hold cards in my hand. I mean... It's possible I want to do things later that requires a bunch of mana. And I mean, if they keep just smashing us for 2 and we hit them for 2, we win. So they need to do something about this. They do have mana for their 3/3 Flash Flyer, so if they just pass the turn with this mana up, I probably am not supposed to attack. Okay, well they don't have that, so they're looking for a card. See if they put something on top. Oh, okay. Another flyer. That's not what we wanted to see, and we did throw out our Immolation card, so... Are we supposed to trade off here? Probably not. Not yet. Because if they attack us with their flyer, then we can attack them next turn with our flyer. Oh no, they have the Curse of Leeches too. Well, that's going to be really hard to beat because they're going to gain a life every turn. So, dealing this much damage to them every turn is not going to be good. Wow, the animations on the decayed zombies are pretty sweet, actually. Now I think we just attack. If they want to trade, that's fine. We don't want this to flip to night. Because then this is going to be a 4/4 lifelink. Oh! Get some. Here we go. Oh, we can't kill them. Should we be cheeky and just say good game? I don't know. Well, we can't win if they go next. Because what are they? They attack with everything. They go up to 11 and we deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to them. We kind of need them to not block here. I kind of want to draw the card. Maybe they won't block because we need to draw a card. And then we can win. Well, we have Exacxies. That's awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X equals 6. Target here. I mean, they might have removal for this. I don't know if I would block there either. Oh, devious cover up. Okay, well, we definitely lost. It is nice that we had the potential to win if our opponent didn't have counterspells. Like, this card could have won this game there, but obviously it didn't, and now we're in a lot of trouble, so especially if we draw a bunch of lands. But that happens. I mean, we can't get upset. We had to mulligan both games. It happens. And I don't know, like... Opponent's deck is decent. They've got some strong cards, and they've drawn a bunch of strong cards. I don't know if these cards are that great, but you do get to loot. 2 mana, draw a card. Yeah, we just draw a million lands, so... Alright, let's finish that off. And... let's see if we can make a couple little changes. Now that I've played with the cards... See if there's some stuff we can adjust. Maybe it's just the way we played too. Nah, I think game 2 we played pretty good. Really, I think we just kind of got stuck on mana both games, and that's fine. It's gonna happen in Magic. I don't know if there's anything I want to change. I think sideboarding into the extra vampires was worth it. Obviously, we didn't draw them, but I think it would have been nice anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think this deck's fine. Oh, that's right. We were thinking maybe some of the weaker 2-drops could come out. Like these occultists. They do work well with some of our other cards. Yeah, I mean, they're fine. Worst case scenario, you block with them and you get to draw a card. So, all right, let's go into match 2 and see if we can get a win. I do think our pool was pretty weak, but that's not an excuse to not play. I mean, sometimes you get weak pools, sometimes you get strong pools. So play first. All right, we got both colors of mana. Let's go. Let's go. And we got a bunch of 2-drops. Look at this. What do we play first? I think we're probably supposed to play this Interloper first, because it's most likely to be able to attack and generate a lot of value. I mean, if we didn't have that, I might play this and gain the life right away, but I think playing this on turn 2 is really valuable, because now like the opponent has to do something about it, otherwise they are gonna lose. And like this doesn't block our creature. Or did we screw up again where we could go 2-drop, 3-drop? But we have a 3-drop to play, so it's kind of okay. If we didn't have this 3-drop again, I think it might be worth like playing Hungry for More turn 2 and turn 3. I have to remember that this is your 2-drop and your 3-drop. It's pretty good. Although this card is better with Eaten Alive. So maybe it is good to hold it, because now if they play a good card, we can go Hungry for More, attack, and then use Eaten Alive, eat the token, and kill whatever they play. So maybe it was better to hold it. And against a 1-2. We probably just attack with Hobbling Zombie. I mean, if they want to double block, that's fine. If they want to chump block, I guess that's fine. We'll probably play Hungry for More, attack with everything. Use Eaten Alive? Oh, they're using Eaten Alive. Eaten Alive. Well, hopefully we draw land, actually. Oh, this thing got exiled? No! Where's my token? I was saying if we did get the token from this, we could use Eaten Alive off the token, which is pretty good, but here we are. So I am going to play this, because then next turn I can flash it back for 3 and use Eaten Alive with it on whatever they play next. But let's just keep smashing them and try to kill them as fast as we can here. And then, yeah, hopefully they tap out for a creature and we can play Hungry for More, attack, and then use Eaten Alive to kill their creature. There might even be a case where we end up playing this against them. If we get them down to 2 life, we can just kill them with our Play with Fire. Yeah, Eaten Alive's really good. It exiles the creature. And this is a common. Like, it just completely hoses all of your flashback cards and stuff. Yeah, I mean, sure. Am I supposed to block this? Probably not. I think normally I would block, but because we're trying to deal a bunch of damage to them, I don't mind having the extra creature in play. And I assume they're just going to play a creature, and we have plans to kill it anyway, so. I only played 2 creatures. Nice. Ooh. That's kind of good. Because then if they chump block, or they trade with this, yeah, that's kind of nice. I think our plan is going to be to play this. So let's keep the pressure up. And then let's play Gisa. And then if they don't have a removal spell, this can be kind of tough for them. Because we're going to kill a couple of their creatures next turn. This exiles. Okay, so Eaten Alive doesn't work with Gisa. Remember that. Doesn't work with Gisa. Wow, Eaten Alive really screws up a lot of the set mechanics. What does this do? Can't block. We don't care. Okay, what does this say at the beginning of your upkeep? So we could exile something. We could technically get this back and use its ability to make something not able to block. That's kind of cool. We can get this back with the Play with Fire. I think we probably attack with Hungry for More and then use Eaten Alive on something. It's probably our best bet. keep the attacks going. Ooh. Well, now we would have to sacrifice a real creature here to use Eaten Alive. Maybe I don't care that much. Yeah. Well, that was a good block by the opponent. Prevents us from using the token. And maybe we telegraph our mana a little bit there, but... Oh, that's really sad. So they have Defenestrate. They have Eaten Alive. Uh, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Still kind of okay, right? Don't really want to block here. Ooh, Contortionist is kind of nice. So this can be a 3/3, and this is a 1 power, 2 power, so we can get the counter right away off of this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they kill Contortionist, we lose. That's not great. So maybe what we're supposed to do is only attack with Interloper. And leave this one back on blocks. Play this as a 3/3. And then next turn we're gonna play this card, which has a 1 toughness, so it's okay to put it here. This helps it block better. Or one attack, rather. So that we can keep getting counters off Contortionist Group. Remember that this can still attack them to the face. So next turn, they'll go down to 4 at least. If we're able to push through a couple more points of damage, we might be able to kill them with Play with Fire. Okay. What does this do? Oh, you sacrifice a permanent, then you lose a life. Wow. Wait, what? Oh, at the beginning of their upkeep. Oh, that's actually not as good as I thought it was. And actually, Curse of Leech is going to be nice here, too. I wonder if we can just kill them here. Attack for 2, they go down to 4, they go down to 3, they go down to 1, and then this kills them. I think I definitely want to play Curse of Leeches this turn. So let's go to attacks. I guess we can attack with Contortionist. No, we're not going to attack into the 4/4. That's silly. Play Curse. End the turn. So this puts them to 3. This puts them to 1. And then Curse of Leeches kills them. Are we just supposed to sacrifice Interloper this turn? So we have blockers? Probably. I just want to make sure we don't die to like an all-out attack by them. Because then we play with fire, and this deals 1 damage to them, or they lose 1 life off of this. Assuming they can't get rid of Curse of Leeches. If they do nothing, this becomes a 4/4 lifelink. We actually don't want that to happen. It would be much better if they played a spell this turn. I don't want the 4/4 lifelink. I would rather have the Curse of Leeches here. But we can just play 2 spells maybe. Okay. Looks like we're taking 4, 8, 11, which is lethal. So they must have something, right? Do you think they have +2/+2 to an attacking creature? So like if we block here, we take 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we lose. If we block here, we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and we still lose. Do we just lose the game here? If they have a pump spell? Well, I think we did the bet. Well, so if they, if I block here, they have 4, 8, 9, 10, and then they can deal 1 damage to us using something else. I think this is just the place we need to block. I assume that they have a pump spell here. If they did, we could play with fire. Oh, I'm gonna lose a life and then lose a life. Oh, that's kind of clever actually on their part. 1 damage to defending player. Okay. Oh, when it attacks. That's fine. Let's this is gonna flip, right? But we can play both of these. Oh, I don't want to lose life though. This is kind of tough. This is going to be an interesting day-night cycle. I think we definitely do this. We scry 1 to the bottom. Go to our turn. I played a spell on their turn, so this doesn't flip. Is that how that works? And all we have to do is play something and not have our creature die. So let's just do this, right? Because we're gonna lose a life off of that. So let's just do this. Sack a creature. Let's exile, I don't know, discard maybe. Sack this. This is a really interesting game. Come on, give me something good. Need a little bit of luck here. Nice, okay. So getting rid of their, or exiling their rummaging card there was worth it. Because they could, on their upkeep, tap 3, discard a card, draw a card, and maybe they draw something that deals damage to us. So that's why I got rid of that card. They have a 2/1, a bunch of 2 toughness creatures. This is a 2/1. So 1/2. That's probably enough reasons to play the vampire things again. Although 2/2 zombies against them seem pretty good. So I could see a world where like this horde is good. I do think this card could be okay against them. What did they have? They had a Defenestrate and Eaten Alive, which makes this card not as good. Yeah, I guess any 2-for-1s are good. So they probably want this Voldaren Ambusher. And if we have that vampire, we want this vampire. So we're doing the same thing again. Get rid of Diagraph Horde. What seems bad against them? Random 1/2s don't seem great against them. But I don't really want to get rid of creatures that much. Yeah, maybe these just aren't good enough. So let's do that. Let's put in these 2 vampires. And yeah, switch it up, see what we can do. All right, this looks pretty good. I mean, we hope to draw red mana, but hey, we've got vampire into this. We can kill a 2 toughness creature. That's pretty good. Oh, beauty. Beauty. Well, if our deck doesn't win with this hand, then that is unequivocal proof that it's not that good. So. Yeah. If this is our 2-drop, that makes this our 3-drop. Actually, this with this is pretty good on 6. What's our 3-drop going to be? Probably this. To kill Interloper. So yeah, I'm fine playing Interloper here. Again, trying to make the decision if it's better to play Hungry for More as a 2-drop and a 3-drop. But I think it's probably better just to do this. Ooh, 2/3. 3 mana 2/3. Well, this card looks pretty good. Maybe we'll play the Death Toucher as our 3-drop. At least that stops this one from attacking this turn. And then next turn, not sure what we do. Foul play. Okay. Oh, does it give haste as well? Oh, wow. That was a huge turn for them. Wow. All right, well, we need to gain a bit of life, so we're going to play Hungry for More and then use Eaten Alive to get rid of this Stormseeker, because we're definitely losing to that card. And then next turn, we're probably playing